Well, on ESPN Cricinfo Match Day, the Caribbean edition. For the first time, Ian Bishop and me in the West Indies, in the Caribbean. Let me just start by saying, Bish, how much more comfortable I am asking the questions than answering them.
I'm happy that you're in your comfort zone, to be honest. As a guest to the Caribbean, we want you to feel comfortable.
Good man. The West Indian team made India feel very comfortable. Quick 3-day finish, but in all seriousness, really disappointing batting effort. How much do you put that down just to the conditions that we saw at Roseau, and that we may not see something like that at Trinidad, second test?
The conditions here in Dominica surprised me because West Indian batters in recent years have generally struggled. Well, batting is a struggle, but again, slow bowling, even more of a struggle. And then, as I said on commentary, on that pitch, which literally began turning square halfway through day 2 into day 3, it was always going to be a challenge that was insurmountable against Ashwin and Jadeja, over 700, 800 wickets in test matches between them. So I think we have to be a little more strategic in the Caribbean, if I may be allowed to say that, in understanding what our strengths are as a team, what our deficiencies are as a team, and try to put our team in the best. I'm not saying that had it been a different sort of situation with a pitch, that West Indies would have won. I'm not saying that. But at least give them a little more of a chance. And if it is a case where the knowledge of how to prepare, because I wouldn't think that pitch was deliberately prepared that way. I think it may just be a lack of the understanding of how to prepare a cricket surface that rewards batsmanship and good fast bowling, which I still think is our strength.
Yeah, I mean, pitch making is a highly inexact science, and we remember before the Dominica test there was rain, so there would have been some covering. That would have played into the challenges of the ground staff, I guess, in getting that surface right. Do you expect Trinidad to be different, though? I
believe so. I believe Trinidad will be, fingers crossed, different in the sense that I think it'll be a good cricket surface. What do I mean by a good cricket surface? Dominica was particularly hard to score even for Jaiswal and for Rohit, right? So it wasn't easy for them either. They applied themselves better and they were just highly skilled. There's a sort of a lead consultant on that surface in Trinidad who I think understands and has the resources to prepare a better surface. So I'm trusting that will be the case. I'm not guaranteeing a win, but a surface that rewards good fast bowling, good batsmanship, and maybe later on the slow bowlers come into it.
Is it fair to say that the West Indies' best chance to compete is a surface that helps fast bowling?
I think so. I think with Gabriel, with Roach particularly, we've seen Roach in the Caribbean and what his numbers are post 2017. It's remarkable with the Duke's ball in home conditions. Shannon Gabriel with his extra pace, Alzari Joseph, which is not to belittle what Jomel Warrican or Rakeem Cornwall can bring, but I think as a collective and from a batting perspective, I think it was slightly more in favor there. Again, I can't guarantee, I'm not putting my head on a block for any player, but I think if you want to go down, it is better you go down with your fast bowlers having a chance.
On Rakeem Cornwall, I'm sure the West Indian fans will have a lot to say upon returning, sympathize with whatever illness he may have had to go through, but illness, injury has been part and parcel of Rakeem Cornwall's international career. Do you sense a tipping point has come?
Tipping point in what sense?
Would the West Indies be better advised to look at other options where they can trust more on the fitness and health of a player to last them in a test match? Because that was effectively 10 versus 11 with your lead spinner out on a turning track.
Well, I don't know if you can write off or draw a line in the sand after one test match. I think what the test match did was that whatever the illness was to Rakeem, it has given him another glimpse and given the selectors another glimpse of the demands of playing against the best team in the world and what is required. But I think it's what is required across the board from every player in the Caribbean, higher levels of fitness.
In fairness, it was the batting that left the West Indies down primarily in the first test, 150 and below that in both innings. Did they in any way suffer or were hamstrung by personnel availability, the absence of Roston Chase and Kyle Mayers, who were playing in Zimbabwe? We believe there's some injury management there as well. Was that in any way contributing further?
I wouldn't like to sort of lay the outcome at the feet of that. It's always been next man up, wherever you play, whatever sport it is. And we have to increase and improve our depth. I thought Alec Athanase acquitted himself perhaps better than any other batsman, any other batter in the test match for West Indies, that is. So he got the opportunity. I think we've seen potential in him. Again, I'm not saying he's a second coming of Brian Lara. I don't want anybody but I think given that our talent pool is so small, he looks as though he could be a leading light in years to come. Kirk McKenzie is another one they're talking about. So it's unfortunate, but guys have been tried. Ruston and Kyle have had their moments and probably will have in future, but it's not like if in recent times they sort of broke down the world.